What is going on, everybody? It just rules. Back again with another video. We're here late at night to talk about this trade that is just took place. Something we've waited months and months for, and they waited till everybody was asleep, and boom, to announce it. But James Harden is finally being traded to the Clippers, which is what he asked for. And it's very surprising, because the rumored trade package, because like I said, this is from Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski, and it's still not even like hours later. This is not even live. I was trying to get some time to think about it, but the trade's still not complete. But I just don't feel personally nothing about it. All right, so let me just get to the package. James Harden, PJ Tucker, Felipe Petrosov, for Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Kenya Martin Jr., a 2028 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, and a first-round pick from a third team. That's the whole mystery thing. A lot of people were waiting up to see, oh my God, who's his third team? Again, my opinion, as I'm filming, the third team ain't been announced. I just don't feel it's of importance, It definitely makes things a lot interesting, but it is what it is. So we're a week into the season. Like I said, we've waited months for this to take place, and we kind of always had in our mind what we thought the trade package was going to be. It was going to be Terrence Mann, people to fill up the salary, and a pick for James Harden. I kind of always also thought PJ Tucker was going to be involved, because the main reason PJ Tucker's in Philly is because of James Harden, and so I was like, I obviously thought he was going to get traded with him, and he did. For the Clippers, I understand why they didn't. They didn't. The only person that has been in their rotation that is involved in this package that I feel has benefited their team is Robert Covington. And that's from the defensive side of things. Marcus Morris is just too up and down of a player, and he's just hasn't been the same as when they re-signed him. I know they traded for him a long time ago. It definitely feels like they signed him, but they did trade for him in the 2020 season. But he just hasn't been the same. Nicholas Batum, kind of the same deal. Kenya Martin Jr. was somebody with young upside that they had a chance with. But to get a multiple-time All-Star, former MVP, and somebody that actually wants to be there, I understand why they did the move. So, I don't understand it from the Philly perspective. I understand it from the Philly perspective of wanting to get it over and done with, and you're getting salary to potentially and a couple of picks that maybe you can get somebody down the line. Because as of right now, both teams are 2-1, and Philly has been a decent team without James Harden playing. And the only guy they gave up is PJ Tucker, which I feel out of the three guys that you just traded for, one of the three could potentially provide what PJ Tucker does. I feel Robert Covington is the most likely choice. He's also returning back to Philly. But like I said, the other guys have the salary, and maybe down the line you could do a deal later because you're all right with where you're at now, and you just wanted James Harden out of there over and done with. I understand it from that perspective. From the Clippers' perspective, they weren't rushing this. They had their guys they didn't want to give up. And for them to not give up Terrence Mann or Norman Powell, good on them. Now, lineup-wise, I don't know what it'll look like. I have wrote down Westbrook, Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Off the bench, Bones Hyland, Norman Powell. I definitely know what I forgot about. Bones Hyland, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, PJ Tucker, Mason Plumlee. I forgot to write down PJ Tucker. So, the thing is, I feel Westbrook would really benefit coming off the bench. But he also would not benefit playing with Bones Hyland. You could do a lineup that's Harden, Paul George, Kawhi, PJ Tucker, Zubac, Westbrook off the bench with Norman Powell, Terrence Mann. And then, that's why I said you need to trade Bones. I know I'm overthinking it, but it's just like, out of the player-wise, out of the whole trade package, the top 10 for the Clippers, their whole lineup, is better than anybody the Sixers got in this trade. You could debate between Robert Covington and PJ Tucker, but if you're to ask everybody else versus who the Sixers just got, I'm taking almost all of the guys on the Clippers. So, lineup-wise or player-wise for the Clippers, a W. And I remember people were equating for the Brooklyn Nets deal, because it's kind of always the thing we compare nowadays when these super teams, big threes form, which I would imagine, I'm not, people are going to call this a super team. I would call it a big three, because Westbrook, everybody wanted to crap, if y'all want to call it a super team, but like, I've been crapping on Westbrook the past 2 to 3 years, is he really contribute to a super team? I do, because that's my guy, but I don't know what y'all think. But like I said, I like it for the Clippers. The main thing I was getting at, though, comparing it to the Nets, is that they didn't play that much together. It was like they got together. Who was it? Kyrie Irving's out, so it was Harden and Kevin Durant for a minute, and then Durant got out. Kyrie came back, so they were subbing in and out who could play. And again, the main concern for the Clippers is staying healthy. Now you have 4 former All-Stars, 3 that a lot of people still feel at that level. Again, I feel Westbrook is, so I'm going to include him in it. Realistically, you should have a chance to win a lot of games and have something for the playoffs. The main thing for them is the playoffs. Is this team better than the Nuggets? I would say no, because I'm going to respect the Nuggets still being the champions and handling business last year and still being a competent team to begin this season. They've done very well. Again, for the Clippers case, at the moment, they're still 2-1. For the Sixers, like I said, I think the main thing is they got contract-wise guys that they could move on down the line when someone of benefit could be available for them. And the main thing that they wanted is to get James Harden out of there. And they're all right with where they're at right now. Because like I said, they're 2-1 as well. And even the one game they lost at this moment against the Bucks, they were down a lot in it, but it was a close game at the very end of it. And like I said, Tyrese Maxey has done very well at the beginning of the season. I did anticipate that. Kelly Oubre has looked like an underrated signing, which I kind of always felt that any team Kelly Oubre was going to sign with, that was going to be the case. But for him, he really is filling a void now for Philly. I don't know. I need more out of it for Philly. For them to be a top team in the East, because at best, they're 3rd in the East, power ranking wise. They're nowhere near the Bucks or the Celtics. You could debate if they're on the same level of the Knicks, the Cavs, and then them, maybe the Heat even as well. But for them to be a competent team in the playoffs, they're obviously going to have to do something. They got the contracts to do it. Lineup-wise, right now, with Maxey, DeAnthony Melton, Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, off the bench, Pat Bev, Batum, Marcus Morris. I also forgot Robert Covington in that. Lineup-wise, I feel there are things that could work with it. It should win games. But to be a top team, I don't think it's that yet. And like I said, now it's just going to be the waiting game for them. And again, for the Clippers, I feel it's a bit of the waiting game as well, because you're waiting to see if any of your top guys get hurt and how you can substitute out of that. Like I said, for the Clippers, I feel for them to go over the top, they would. I'm not gonna say they have to trade Bones Highland, but you did give up your 3 power forwards. You got 1 back, and you could obviously play Kawhi at power forward, but you did trade all your power forwards to get 1 back, who is I just guess it out of my ass. I think PJ Tucker is probably older than all those other. They're probably all around the same age, but you get the point I'm making. But if you were to trade Bones Highland, have Westbrook come off the bench, be the 6th man, he's got Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, whoever. I'm hypothetically trying to trade Bones Highland for that power forward to fill in that void. But like I said, you don't have to. It would just be something that I would like. But to grade this for the Clippers, it's an A+. You wanted Harden. You did not give up much to give him. You really just didn't. The pick you gave up a lot of picks already in this Kawhi Leonard, Paul George era. It's something that we'll have to see. Wait and see who the hell that pick's going to be. But for the now, it doesn't really even matter. For the Sixers, I'm going to give it a C-, maybe even a D+. It's just Robert Covington's going to be good. He's mainly replacing PJ Tucker, in my opinion. You didn't really get anybody to fill that Westbrook void. I know they really wanted Terrence Mann out of it, but I always thought they should have been going after Norman Powell because he would have been serviceable as a 6th man or in the starting lineup. But to not even get Norman Powell out of it is a bit nuts. But again, this is just me thinking for them. They just wanted James Harden out of there. They got people that has the money that down the line, maybe, just maybe, they can get somebody else there. But again, you wait. It's the waiting game. And I don't know if you want to wait around and find out with Embiid and he wants to leave. I don't see Embiid leaving this year or asking to leave this year. That might be, I know a lot of people are expecting that, especially now after this trade. I just don't see that. So for the Sixers, I'm a bit down on them, but they're still a competent team thus far, very early in the season. I don't think they're holding their heads down. They're just trying to move on from it. So we'll see how this things goes. We got a long way to go. This is literally 1 weekend, and we got this big trade. So hopefully we get a couple more down the line. Personally, I want to see my Grizzlies make a trade because we still haven't won a effing game yet, even though we've been very close. But that's a topic for another video maybe. So that is my thoughts on this James Harden trade. I don't know if this mysterious third team is going to have a major impact. If that's the case, you will obviously have to see me again. But as of now, this will be it for this topic. So I'll see you down the road. Hopefully everyone stays safe. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Also never showed that I was actually wearing a Sixers hat in this video, but there it is now. So thank you for watching again. See you when I see you. Stay safe.